Good morning, Year 5. Welcome to topic lesson number 2. And this time we are comparing life in Spain with life in England. So by the end of today's lesson, you'll know all about Spain's physical geography, and you'll be able to compare life in Spain with life in England. Okay, so physical geography and how it affects the way people live. So, do you know what physical geography means? Have a little guess, write it down on your worksheet. What do you think physical geography means? Pause the video now. Okay, so physical geography means the branch of geography dealing with natural features. Did you get that right? Pause the video now and think of some natural features of countries. Okay, so natural features include things like mountains, rivers, coasts, hills. Okay, now on your worksheet, you'll see this table. We've split it into two. We've got Spain on one side and UK on the other. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is as we go through this slideshow, you're going to record notes in the Spain column and in the UK column. We're going to compare them at the end. Okay, so first things first, rivers. Now, Spain's capital is Madrid, and England's capital is London. Now, both of these capital cities have a river running through it. The Madrid River is called the Tragus, and the London River is called the Thames, but I'm sure you knew that already. Okay. Oh, what's happened there? Now, why do you think both of the capital cities have a river running through them? That can't be a coincidence, can it? Have a little think, pause the video and see if you can work out why. Okay, so most of the world's major cities were built on or around areas of fresh water. Our ancestors chose to settle near these rivers because that meant that they could have drinking water for not just for themselves, but for any animals that they might keep as well. They could use it for food supplies to be able to fish. They'd also be able to use it for watering their crops. But the big one is probably transport. So they would be able to put loads of things in boats and ship them up into these big places to then disperse all over the country. Okay, so I'd like you to fill in the blanks in this sentence on your worksheet. It's already written out for you. So Spain's capital, has the river, running through it. The area was popular because the river meant that people could, and then there's loads of information. I've just told you that you can finish that little bit for you. Okay? Next. So we've done rivers, moving on to temperature. Okay, so the average temperature in Spain in the summer is 23 degrees Celsius, whilst the average England's summer temperature is 18 degrees Celsius. Now, why do you think this is? Think about where these countries are located. Why do you think it's hotter in Spain? Okay, so if you look here, this long red line going straight through the middle of the Earth is called the equator. Now, this is the area of the Earth that gets the most sun. It's closest to the sun. So that means it's going to be a little bit warmer. Now, if you look at what we did last week with where Spain and England were in Europe, you should remember that Spain was further south. It was actually in the southwest, wasn't it? Whereas England was just in the west. Now, here's England here, where my mouse is. Now, that's not very close to the equator, but if you look at Spain, it is a lot closer. So that is why Spain is warmer than England. Okay? Now, you're going to have to look up a video on YouTube right now. And this video is called "What is a Siesta? Spanish Culture." Now, if you type that into YouTube, it'll be this video that comes up here. So pause this video and watch this one. Okay, so why do they take siestas in Spain, and why don't we have them in England? Can you think of any reasons? Okay. Now, again, on your worksheet, you've got this sentence here with lots of gaps in it. I would like you to fill in these gaps. So Spain is something than England because it is something to the equator. To avoid the heat, Spanish people often take a something, which is an afternoon nap at the something time of day. I'm sure you'll be able to fill that in, no problem. Okay, so next, we're moving on to another physical geographical feature, which is mountains. So on this side, we've got two Spanish mountains. We've got the Sierra Nevada, which is 3,478 meters tall. The Pyrenees, which is 3,404 meters tall. And then over here, you've got our English ones. We've got Scafell Pike, 978 meters. And we've got Helvellyn, which is 950 meters. So, which country has the tallest mountains out of these two? Let's have a little look. Okay, so I'd like you to write down in your table which one has the highest mountains. Okay. Next, we've got the oceans. Okay, so Spain is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Bay of Biscay. It has a coastline of 3,084 miles. Pretty good. So here it is. You'll see that that's not an area where there's a coast. That's connecting to France. And this here, this little section is taken up by Portugal. So that's another little area that hasn't got any ocean. So the only areas of ocean are here and down this side here. Okay, whereas the UK is surrounded by the North Atlantic, the North Sea, and the English Channel. It has a coastline of 11,072 miles. Now, why do you think it's got a larger coastline than Spain? Have a little think. The UK. Okay, so moving on. Crops. So crops, the things that we grow. Spain is the world's leading producer in oranges and mandarins, but they also grow apples, bananas, pears, peaches, apricots, plums, cherries, figs, and nuts. The vegetables that they grow in Spain are potatoes, tomatoes, onion, cabbages, peppers, and string beans. Wheat and barley are also common. The grains are grown in the dry places. Spain is the world's largest importer of soybeans. There is a small. They also have small quantities of tobacco, cotton, flax, and hemp. Okay. Whereas in the UK, the main ones that we make are wheat, oats, and barley. The root vegetables are mainly potatoes and sugar beet. We've got pulse crops such as beans and peas, cabbages. I don't know what that is. Vetches, rapeseed, kale. Fruit wise, we've got mainly apples and pears, and we also do a lot of hay, which we used to feed our animals. So, can you see, if you pause the video, which of these foods are grown in both countries? Okay, so hopefully you've been pausing the video loads and you've got loads of information recorded in each side of your table. Now I'd like you to write a couple of sentences to explain how Spain and the UK are different. Okay, so and then you're going to write a couple of sentences to explain how Spain and the UK are similar as well. So difference, you could talk about the geographical features, you could talk about the fact that they've got higher mountains, the fact that the temperature changes a lot because of where we are. But then in similarities, I would talk about things like the last slide that we looked at, the different types of crops that we grow. Okay, I really look forward to seeing everything you've done for this lesson. Good luck.